Welcome back, guys. Today is a holiday, so it's a beer day. Quick update on the Chevy. I finished off the torque rod mount and I got the driveline all wire wheeled up clean. So I pulled out the rear axle and I sent out that plus the driveline over to the paint shop. But in the meantime, the frame is pretty much done. As soon as we get the axle back and the driveline put in, then the rolling chassis is more or less complete. The only thing that needs to be done afterwards is putting in the shit, I don't even know what you call it. It's they have a little plate where this overload spring rides on the axle, but I don't want to install that plate until I have like the deck built on the truck, because I need to know how much travel I need in the suspension with like the vehicle loaded with, the box on it and stuff, before I decide how high or how much travel I'm going to allow before this overload spring engages. So that's the only last detail that needs to be added to the chassis once I get, the weight of the vehicle on it. So in the meantime, it's full tilt boogie on the cab. Action. Okay, so with the cab, we got it all cut out with the plasma, got all the edges cleaned up, made a couple of repairs to the A-pillars at the bottom. I also did a bunch of repairs to the inside of the windshield frame while the cab's upside down, because it makes it a lot easier, as well as the top edge of the rear window frame. Basically all the welding is done there. There's just a little bit of sanding and touch-ups to do on that. So in the meantime, we've taken the new floor pan that I got with the damaged parts cut out still, and we just dropped it right in there just to kind of see how it fits, dry fit. Nothing's bolted or nothing's welded, it's just sitting there. So far it looks like it fits pretty good. It's obviously going to take a little bit of persuasion to get it in there nicely. So on this back window frame, I done a bunch of sheet metal repairs, and I started replacing entire little, panels here. Basically made up some pieces on the brake and fitted them in there, and that was going well. And then I realized as I got down to this end that I could probably just weld up a lot of these holes, because, a lot of the steel was still pretty strong along the window lip here. So I just ended up starting to weld up some of these rust holes, and this whole corner, I welded all that up, and all down here, and even on the lip here, I ended up welding it up. And I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. I think there's a few spots that I got to touch up with the welder, but progress is being made as far as learning on the sheet metal front, because for all the time it took me to do these repairs here, I did all of these repairs all the way down here in like half the time it took me to do all of that shit. So, yeah, winning. Coming along. So, living and learning as we go. Getting better and better. As you can see, she's all nice and shiny, and we're gonna roll this thing underneath and get her mounted up. I don't own any dead blow hammers because in my career I've found that they're completely useless. But now working with like restos with new paint, kind of wish I had a dead blow hammer right now. But in the meantime, I'm just going to use the wooden handle of my other hammer. Hopefully I won't damage the paint too much. Crushing my apprentice's seat. It's underneath the front frame horn. I just heard it crack. Uh-oh, he's gonna be mad at me. So as you can see, I have my strap around the frame and through the inside of this cross member, so there's no way it's gonna slide off. A little safety tip there. You never wanna lift anything on the end of a frame rail where it can slide off. You're just asking to die. Okay, fine. We might need to collapse the suspension just a little bit to get this bracket back on the way we took it off. A little bit of paint in there, but that's all good. Oops, wrong way. Whoopsies. Perfectly torqued. All right, rear axle in. Now it's just a matter of slapping the new painted driveline in. So we also got this painted up at the paint shop at the same time as the rear axle. So we'll go ahead and slam this in. Looks like there's a chunk of paint or some kind of shit on the slip yoke here, so I'm gonna clean it off. There we go. Now our bolts are lined up. Stick the bolts in for the hanger bearing. Most of these automatics in these generations worked this way, but a lot of them only had one-piece drive shafts. So like usually when you have a slip yoke on the output of the transmission, it'll be a one-piece drive shaft and that's your slip yoke. But on this piece, this application, it's a two-piece drive shaft. So what they have is they have the same slip yoke on the tailstock, and then this hanger bearing actually moves this way and that. There's a rubber diaphragm in there that flexes. So it actually allows the whole drive shaft to move in and out as the axle moves up and down going down the road. So it's kind of like the hanger bearing moves as well as the slip yoke, which is, personally, I don't think it's the best idea, but anyways, we're going to put this in. Might need to lift it up. It's a little long, actually. An inch too long. Maybe even more than that. Because if I try and force it together the way it is right there, it's just going to bottom out on the slip yoke on the tailstock, and it's not going to, if I could even get it together, it would blow up right away. It needs to have movement back and forth. And in order for me to get this in the way it is, I'd have to try and bottom it out that way just to get it in. And as soon as you put weight on it, it's going to blow something up. That's no good. So, damn. I knew it was too good to be true, and I thought the driveline would just fit right in, but because I changed the rear axle, I guess the yoke position is slightly different than the other axle. So I'm going to have to take this driveline down to the driveline shop and have them shorten it up. It's not the end of the world. It's just another setback. So anyways, that's all we got for you today. Thanks for watching. Be the solution.